So, as I said, I would love to read from another short section of In Love at Ease for you all. And then we can return to whatever we want to talk about. Just a quick synopsis. This is a book about being in love and at ease, from the eyes of devotees surrounding a certain spiritual being known as Pramukh Swami Maharaj. Yesterday we ended after looking at some pictures that came with this book, like here he is with his Ishta Devata and a Murti of one, Swami Narayan, in the form of Hare Krishna Maharaj. Anyway, we got cut off because we're at the halfway point of the book, which is where the images are, and I didn't finish the paragraph before the images started, so I'm going to start from there. We are in the 3rd chapter about being eyeless. Swamishri continued this behavior with his peers and fellow religious leaders, even when they did not reciprocate or mirror any appreciation or humility towards him. Swamishri was at the BAPS Sri Swami Narayan Mandir in Ahmedabad. The Acharya of India's renowned ashrams was due to visit Swamishri later that morning. Swamishri prepared for the Guru's arrival with a warm welcome and an honorable reception. He personally picked out the garlands, ritual accessories, and flowers, and even double-checked the Acharya's seating arrangements. When the Acharya of the ashram arrived, he stood firm, tall and unyielding. He did not look at Swamishri and instead stood there with his right hand raised as if he were blessing Swamishri. Swamishri washed the Acharya's feet, placed a garland around his neck, and offered him several gifts, befitting his stature and position as the leader of one of India's oldest ashrams. The Acharya did not lower his eyes even once while accepting Swamishri's humility and generosity. All of those in attendance were appalled by this other religious leader's behavior. The stark differences in each of their behavior started to trouble many of the other leaders' own disciples. Swamishri continued to be engaged and excited. He completed the entire ritual and touched the Acharya's feet before the leader departed from the Mandir complex. As soon as his car pulled away, the sadhus and bhaktas, the monks and devotees, voiced their disgust. Who just stands there like a statue? He did not even pretend to bow or appreciate Swamishri's humility. Does he not get it? Swamishri is the religious leader of one of the most prominent Hindu communities in the world. And this Acharya? No one cares about his ashram anymore. Why do we bother inviting such rude and arrogant people to the mandir? Swamishri immediately hushed his disciples. Do not speak of the leader with disrespect. It washes away the genuine reverence and generosity I have shown with my pure intent and emotion. I was not bothered at all. He should do what he thinks is right. I did what I thought was right. I was offering my prayers to the divine through his being. Bowing to others is a special skill. It does not make us any smaller or lesser than those before whom we bow. Bowing is the way to the top, a step closer to the divine. Humility is a marker of the divine. Swamishri's eyeless persona had no limits. He bowed to those whom he loved, to those who reciprocated, and even to those who showed complete disregard and apathy towards Swamishri's eyeless presence. To be eyeless, and this is I, the letter, referring to the ego, is not to be troubled by how people respond to one's humility. To be eyeless is to take criticism and lessons in one's stride, to have an intense desire to learn and grow. Though he was a spiritual master to millions, Swamishri was a student of life, for life. It is fascinating to see how one can grow if their ego is set aside in order to receive criticism constructively. Swamishri's guru, Yogi Maharaj, often said, "One should be thrilled when someone shows us our mistakes. It is a chance to improve and progress. And if we have not made those mistakes yet, it is a call to awareness so that we do not make those mistakes in the future." There are several examples of Swamishri's disciples and sadhus correcting Swamishri's grammar and pronunciation in Hindi and English, or his use of technology. Swamishri's Hindi was a mix of colloquial Gujarati and a few popular Hindi words. He often spoke in Hindi when a religious leader from another part of India was visiting, or if a program was being telecast in several nations around the world. On another occasion, he had shown passion for the prospect of learning from a 26-year-old boy. Dharma Charandas Swami, Swamishri's personal assistant, came looking for me in Mumbai. A female scholar from Mumbai University had published an article on Bhagwan Swaminarayan's social reform and theology. She wanted someone to translate the core argument of her article, published in a volume of essays, to His Holiness. I had not begun my journey as an academic, and therefore needed some time to read and digest the article before explaining it to Swamishri. I sat in the corner of his room reading the article. Dharma Charandas Swami left the room to attend a phone call. Swamishri looked up from his letters with a playful smile. It was as if the adults had left the room and it was our turn to have fun. I jumped up from the corner and settled next to Swamishri's sofa. I showed Swamishri this thick textbook and said, "Swamishri, I do not understand what she is trying to say." Swamishri laughed. "Then I have no hope." We both laughed out loud. We started reading the next text together. Swamishri could tell that I was not interested in translating the article, but I persevered and got through most of it. The Guru was ready to become a disciple and suggested, "Yogi ji, let's read and write some English before Dharmacharan comes back. He will have a stack of letters." I started reading simple words from the textbook and pointed them out with a pen. Swamishri followed with great interest. We read words such as Swaminarayan, Nishkulanand, write, Gujarat, pray, and sing. There were times when he had difficulty, and I remember correcting him. I looked at his face to see if he flinched or reacted to my corrections, but found that he was focused on learning and did not mind that a child whom he had mentored over the last 26 years was now correcting and teaching him. A few minutes into our English class, Swamishri noticed Dharma Charandas Swami walking back into the room with a stack of fresh letters to be answered. "Yogi, next session soon. This is all for today. Thank you for taking the time. And make sure you work on your technical, academic English. You may need it someday." My guru taught me that if I put my ego aside, learning would be easier. I just had to be receptive to it coming from anyone or anything at any time. Little did I know that teaching Swamishri English that day would be the start of my own academic journey over the next decade, where I would have to learn from students and colleagues much younger than myself. Swamishri's master class in humility went on to form the foundation of my academic journey. And we will pause our reading of In Love at ease there for now. So I thank you for listening, everyone. And now we may return to our regular format. That was lovely. I hope you agree.